Well, good morning, Dawn, and thanks for taking the time this morning to talk about the experience that you had working together and what it impacted you and your career and everything else that went along with it. And just to start the conversation, how was it that you and I first connected?
So we connected back in 2018. I had been out of work for a little while. I was doing some consulting, and you spoke at an event, JVS. It was a job seekers event. It's a nonprofit organization. And we met after the event and we decided to meet up because my LinkedIn wasn't quite where it should be. It was okay, but it wasn't attracting the right employers.
What other work besides LinkedIn did we complete, and how did that impact what you decided to do right after that?
So we completed my resume as well. And the reason we did that is we wanted to make sure it matched exactly. Of course, when you do a resume, you put your dates and what you've done, but you may list certain things on your resume that you don't list on LinkedIn. And we wanted to make sure they were aligned exactly because now with social media, the first thing an employer does when you send them your resume is look at your LinkedIn profile. And
Right.
it's very important that your LinkedIn profile aligns with your resume.
What was the outcome that you got after we initially worked together? If I remember correctly, it was a tech company, and go ahead on what that was and how that worked out for you.
So I did a few things. The end of 2000, at the time, I believe I was consulting, recruiting for LPN nurses for a company in San Antonio, Texas, at the time
Yes.
that we met. But in February of 2019, I landed a position with it. It was a population health company. So it was a tech company where where we had software and programs for data for health, for Medicaid, Medicare,
Hmm.
for better outcomes. So it did help me land that role, the practice, the interviewing skills, as well as all of my social media.
What are you doing career wise today, and how did some of the work that we did back now 5 years ago impact what you're up to today?
So it gives me a lot of options in corporate America with mergers and acquisitions and layoffs and there is no long term, no one knows how long they'll be at an
That's right.
organization. You have an intent that you're going to be there for 5 years, 10 years, and it doesn't always work out that way, and it has nothing to do with your abilities or your professionalism or your capabilities or your knowledge. It's basically about business
Yep.
and financials. So this has given me the opportunity to branch out to other things, to work on contract work, for people to grab me up. I have a conversation, having a conversation with someone else um, today, actually this afternoon, about a contract, very highly paid rate contract position. So it opens doors for thinking outside the box and having options while you're looking to do something else.
And multiple sources of income, which you've described in a prior conversation, which is also great. Um, just one final question is: any thoughts or recommendations that you might have for people who may be looking at this video, considering whether they want to go through the program that you and I did? Again, your reactions to that.
Well, I highly recommend it. I think it's the basis of it's the backbone and the basis of what you need going forward. I mean, you have to go in and represent yourself. You can't do that for anyone, but you can set them up for success by with the practice and by having their resume align with their LinkedIn. Make sure that the resume is really focused on outcomes versus just tasks,
Right.
and that it's really clean. And that's what gets you. That's what has the AI when they do the search for your resume. Make sure it has the keywords, enough of the keywords. For example, if you have, uh, say, they use Workday, and you have Workday more than once in your resume, it will show up higher up when they do a search. for people with Workday as if it was only on one time on the bottom of your resume. So it really helps recruiters find you.
Understood. And it was a pleasure working with you. We've kept in contact for, well, 6 years now, since we started in 2018. And as you know, your protege in Texas has been promoted 4 times, and she's doing really well. And got her off the ground in a great way. So again, I appreciate you taking the time this morning. Wishing you the best with that contract discussion this afternoon, and we'll keep in touch.
Sure, sounds great. Thank you, Bill.